AITA for taking all my mom's photos from dad's house and asking his new wife why it's any of her fucking business? So this all went down just after my dad got remarried, like literally a month ago. I'm 17, living with him for now, just counting down the days till I can get out this summer. My mom passed away when I was 10, and since then, it's always just been me and dad. He dated a few people here and there, but nothing serious until this woman came into the picture. She lived in another state, and for the last 3 years, it was just video calls and short visits. And then boom, married. She moved in a week after the wedding, just showed up with her Target baskets, yoga mats, Starbucks mugs, and this weird thing she does where she labels literally every spice jar like it's a Pinterest project. Whatever. At first, I tried to be chill about it. She's my dad's wife now. I figured it'd be awkward but tolerable. But then within the first 2 days of her being in the house, she started walking around like she was on HGTV trying to reclaim the space. First thing she did, ask my dad if they could take down all the photos of my mom. And not just the wedding photos or whatever. I'm talking about everything. The framed pic of her holding me in the hospital. The random beach photo of them from like 2001 that sat on the living room shelf forever. Even the one my grandma painted of my mom in her 30s that was in the hallway. She just said, I can't make a home with another woman's memories everywhere. Like my mom was some haunting ghost from an exorcism movie or something. And my dad, man, he just nodded along like she was making sense. Said the photos would go into storage and told me if there were any I wanted, I could take them. Said otherwise they'd just collect dust. So I did exactly that. I took every single one, loaded them up in a box, put them in my trunk, and drove straight to my grandparents' house. Told them to hold on to them until I move out. It wasn't some dramatic fuck you gesture in my head. I just couldn't stand the idea of my mom's face getting shoved into some dark basement like she never existed. I took my time too. Walked through the house, photo by photo, taking it down like I was packing up history. I guess what I didn't expect was how fast that set her off. She came into the living room while I was taking the last couple frames off the wall and just stood there with that tight smile people get when they want to pretend they're fine but they're actually about to explode. She asked why I was taking all the photos, and not just the ones of me and my mom. And I said, why does it matter? Like, genuinely. Why? These aren't hers. She's been in the house for a literal week. She told me it felt like a big fuck you to her and that I was making a point of removing everything, that it felt personal. So I said, well, yeah, it is kind of personal. She was my mom. You weren't around when she died. You didn't live this. You don't get to erase her. And she lost it. Said I was being rude, that I insulted her in her own home, that it's her home now too. And if she wants to create a new environment with my dad, I should respect that. I told her flat out, why is it any of your fucking business what I do with photos of my dead mom? She stormed off after that, crying or whatever, and my dad came in all flustered like he was stuck between two warring countries. He tried to play neutral like, I told you you could take what you wanted, but she kept saying, but not all of them. I didn't know he'd take everything. It's like he's making a statement. Damn right I was. You erase my mom, I'm gonna make a statement. Anyway, since then, it's just been this weird Cold War in the house. She walks around pretending I'm not there, but slams cabinets and sighs dramatically like she's waiting for me to apologize. My dad keeps asking us both to be civil, like this is some petty squabble over laundry detergent. She keeps telling him that I disrespected her and that she's family now and deserves my respect. But if she's family, why is she acting like my mom's a threat? So like a week after the whole photo situation, things are still tense as hell. You could cut the air in that house with a butter knife. My dad's doing this thing where he pretends everything's fine by overcompensating, like cooking dinner for once, spoiler, burnt chicken thighs and undercooked rice, randomly suggesting we do a family game night, bro no, and asking me stuff like, did you see that new Batman trailer? As if we ever bonded over DC movies in our lives. But I knew what was coming. Sure enough, Saturday rolls around and my dad says we're having dinner as a family. I knew what that meant. He wanted us all to play nice so he could pretend we were some Hallmark Channel version of a blended household. I didn't want to go, but I also didn't want to give her ammo to call me a brat, so I sat my ass at that table, kept my mouth shut, and waited for the next bomb to drop. She made pasta salad and quinoa burgers, which might be great if you're a bird, and she kept calling it a healthy reset meal because she's on some TikTok wellness kick. Even had one of those giant Stanley water cups with lemon slices floating in it like we're living in a spa. The whole thing felt like a passive-aggressive dig. My mom was all about cooking, like actual meals. Chicken parm, roast dinners, slow-cooked ribs, real food. So this felt like a weird way to scrub even her energy out of the house. We're sitting there chewing dry-ass quinoa, and she goes, so I've been thinking, I want to redecorate the living room. I literally froze mid-bite, because I knew what that meant. She starts rattling off shit like she wants to repaint the walls. These beige tones feel outdated. Get rid of the old recliner, it's stained and smells like dog. and replace the old bookshelf my mom and dad built together before I was even born. Says it's rickety and clutters the space. And here's where it goes off the rails. She brings up the fireplace. Now this fireplace has this little tile design my mom picked out and installed herself, which she was super proud of. It's got these little ocean-colored mosaic tiles, kinda random, but it was her thing. And this woman straight up goes, "I want to retile the fireplace. That blue's gotta go, it throws off the vibe." I didn't even mean to react, I just laughed, like loud. That kind of half scoff, half snort you can't fake. She turns to me with this death stare and goes, "Is something funny?" So I say, "Yeah, you act like this house is an Airbnb you're trying to flip for 5 stars. Silence. Dead fucking silence. My dad's eyes go wide like I just threw a Molotov across the dinner table. She sits there blinking, holding her lemon water like it's gonna save her from what I just said. Then she says, "Well, maybe it's time someone updated this place. It's been stuck in the past for too long." I looked her dead in the eye and said, "Just say you hate everything about my mom and go." And she snapped. She starts crying, but not like sad crying. That weird, loud cry people do when they want everyone to know they're the victim. She says I'm cruel, I'm ungrateful, that she's only trying to make a home with the man she loves and I'm treating her like garbage for it. Then she stands up and goes to the kitchen, still sobbing, while my dad just sits there holding a fork like it's a grenade he's too scared to drop. And that's when I noticed something. She had replaced the painting that used to hang above the fireplace. The one of my mom and me at the lake, the one with the gold frame that had been there since I was a kid. In its place, a generic-ass IKEA canvas of mountains and fog. No warning, just swapped it out like it was nothing. That was it for me. I stood up, walked to the garage, grabbed the painting from where she'd stashed it with a bunch of other to-be-stored stuff, and brought it back in. Didn't say a word. Just took the IKEA garbage off the wall, leaned it against the couch, and rehung the lake photo like it belonged there. She came back in mid-meltdown and screamed, "You don't get to just do that!" I said, "Neither do you." Then I left, took the dog, went to my friend Marcus's place and crashed on his couch. No phone calls, no texts, just silence. Next morning, I wake up to a voicemail from my dad saying, "We need to talk, she's really upset and this can't go on." You think that was the drama? That was just the appetizer. Alright, so I head back home the next day, mostly because I needed clothes and Marcus's couch was not built for actual sleep. I figured I'd be in and out before anyone even noticed I was back. But of course, no such luck. I walk in and it's dead quiet, like creepy quiet. No music, no TV, no sounds of her fake crying echoing from upstairs. Just dead air and that fake-ass lavender essential oil diffuser smell she leaves on 24/7. I grab a backpack, start stuffing it with some clothes, when I hear my dad call from the bottom of the stairs, "Hey, can you come down for a second?" Instant regret. I walk down thinking I'm about to get hit with another awkward "let's talk" convo where I sit through one of his speeches about respecting people's feelings, like he's some low-budget therapist. But no, it was worse. They're both sitting in the living room, on the couch, together, facing the armchair like they're waiting for me to take a seat and get interviewed. I already knew this was going to be some weird intervention energy. Dad goes, "So, we've talked and we think it might be helpful to do a few sessions of family therapy." I literally laughed, like actual ha out loud. Thought it was a joke, but no, they were dead serious. She even printed out flyers. Printed flyers, in color. She goes, "There's a wonderful woman I follow on Instagram who specializes in blended family healing. She's local and I already called to schedule something." I said, "You scheduled therapy for me without even asking?" She said, "It's not just for you, it's for us, to move forward." And here's the kicker. They already went to a session without telling me. Said it was an intro, just to talk about the tension in the house. So let me get this straight. They went to therapy together, behind my back, talked about me, and then decided I needed to show up so we could all heal as a family. I asked what exactly they talked about. My dad avoided eye contact and she suddenly got all bold saying I have an unresolved attachment to the memory of my mom and that it's making it impossible for me to accept change. Unresolved attachment. Like I'm clinging to a stuffed animal, not the literal woman who raised me. I told them I'm not going. No chance in hell. Not sitting in some room while she paints herself as the brave stepmom who's just trying to be loved. I said, "You don't get to take down my mom's face from the walls and then book therapy to talk about my issues." That's when she tried to guilt trip me. She said, "I've never tried to replace your mom. I just want a place where I belong." I said, "Then go back to whatever state you came from and find one there." Yup, I said it. And it landed like a punch. She gasped so hard it sounded like she was choking. Dad jumped in with a whole "that's enough" moment like he was in a courtroom. Told me I was being cruel and intentionally hurtful. I told him, "Cool, then don't worry about me being hurt anymore. I'll be out of here as soon as I can." Just keep your therapy sessions and Pinterest living room with your new wife. Went upstairs, slammed the door, packed a full duffel bag, and left again. This time, I didn't even go to Marcus's. I went to my grandma and grandpa's house, and the thing is, I didn't even tell them what was going on. They just knew. My grandma gave me that look she always gives when something's off, and before I could say anything, she goes, "You hungry?" I nodded. She heated up leftovers from the night before, sat me down, and we ate in total silence. No fake talks, no therapy bullshit, just food, warmth, and a little peace. Later that night, I finally broke and told them what happened. Not the whole thing, just enough for my grandpa to mutter, "That woman's got nerve," under his breath. I didn't need more than that. Just hearing it said out loud made me feel a little less insane. But here's the wild part. The next morning, I get a text from my cousin. He's like, "Dude, why is your dad's wife posting on Facebook about toxic stepchildren and how hard it is to be erased in your own home?" I check, and sure enough, there's a public post with a whole paragraph of vague crap about how blended families are hard and how sometimes the pain of the past makes people lash out in the present. And I just want to build a home with love, not hostility. She even tagged some therapy account and wrote, "Healing isn't linear." But the best part? The photo she posted with it was her and my dad standing in front of the fireplace, with the IKEA painting back on the wall. I swear I could see red. She put that painting back up while I was gone, and then used it for a Facebook post. And that's when I realized, she doesn't want a family, she wants a fan base. Want to know what I did next? So after I saw that Facebook post with the fireplace photo and all her healing isn't linear BS, something in me snapped. Not like some big dramatic movie moment or whatever, I just sat there at my grandparents' kitchen table, staring at that picture on my cracked-ass iPhone thinking, she's really out here turning my dead mom's house into her influencer set. And yeah, I say my mom's house because let's be real, she built that place with my dad. She picked the floors, painted the walls, chose every photo and frame and pillow. You don't get to be in the picture for 5 minutes and act like you rewrote the whole damn story. Anyway, I didn't really know what I wanted to do yet. I was just fuming. So I called up my cousin Vanessa, who's 21 and literally the most unfiltered human being alive. Like she once told her boss to suck a lemon because he sent her a cheer-up meme after her dog died. I needed that energy. We met at Target, which is like her second home. I wasn't planning anything big at first. I just wanted to walk around, vent, maybe buy a Gatorade and chill. But nah. The moment I started talking about the Facebook post and showed her the picture, she lost it. Said she was tired of watching this woman rewrite the whole family narrative like she was the second coming of Joanna Gaines. And then, God bless her chaotic heart, Vanessa goes, "Let's make her a little housewarming gift." So we do. We grab a cheap-ass 4x6 photo frame from the home decor aisle, one of those ugly ones with fake wood and tacky cursive that says "Bless this home" on the bottom. Then we head to the photo printing kiosk. Vanessa had a copy of the lake picture, the one my dad's wife replaced, and we printed it right there in store. But here's the twist. While it's printing, Vanessa says, "We're not just giving her the picture back, we're reminding her whose house she walked into." So we make a collage. We use 4 mini prints, my mom holding me as a baby, her and my dad dancing at some wedding, the lake photo, and one of my mom just laughing in the kitchen with flour on her face. That one gets me every time. We put the collage in the frame, wrap it in a red Target bag like it's a gift, and write a little card that says, "In case you forgot who built the love in this home, here's a refresher. Hope it matches your vibe." No name, no signature, just that. And yeah, I know it was petty, but I didn't care anymore. I wanted her to feel it. That night, I drove back to my dad's. Not to move back in, hell no, but to drop the package off. It was late, maybe 9:30. Her stupid white Lexus was in the driveway, parked all crooked like always. I walked up to the porch, left the Target bag right by the front door, knocked once, and left. Didn't even wait around. Drove off with my windows down, blasting Rage Against the Machine like I was in some teenage rebellion movie from 2007. Next morning, I wake up to 8 missed calls from my dad. 3 voicemails, all starting calm, then getting more and more pissed. "Hey, we need to talk, call me back." "I saw what you left on the porch. That was unnecessary and really disrespectful. This is enough, okay? You need to grow up and stop this behavior. It's hurtful." And then he texts my grandma. "I don't know what's gotten into him. She's been crying all morning." And I swear to God, my grandma replies with just, "Then maybe she should have left the fireplace alone." Savage. Iconic. I almost cried from laughing. But then shit takes another turn. That afternoon, Vanessa sends me a screenshot. My dad's wife posted the Target bag on Facebook. Again, caption said, "Some people will do anything to cling to the past, even hurt others in the process. I will not be bullied in my own home. Love should be about building, not burning." She even included a sad little boomerang of her lighting a candle in the kitchen like she's starting a healing ritual or something. Like, girl, it's a Yankee candle. You're not banishing demons? I didn't respond to any of it. I didn't call my dad back. I just sat there and watched as this grown-ass woman turned my mom's memory into a performative trauma storyline for Facebook likes from her wine aunt friends. But what I didn't know, what made everything explode later, was that she had been going through my mom's stuff without asking. Not the photos, not the frames, her closet. And what she did next? That was when it stopped being petty and got personal. So yeah, the Target bag thing definitely stirred the pot, and I knew that. I knew it wasn't over. But I figured after that Facebook post, she'd either back off or keep doing her passive-aggressive pray for me routine online and leave it at that. Wrong. So wrong. Fast forward like 5 days later, I'm still staying with my grandparents. It's been quiet. No calls from my dad since he went on that voicemail rampage, and honestly, I was fine with the silence. Then one afternoon, I go over to their house to grab some stuff from the attic, my old PlayStation, some clothes I stored after my last growth spurt, whatever. My grandpa's helping me lift boxes, and while we're up there, he's like, "You know, your mom kept a lot of her stuff in that closet in the guest room. It's probably still there if you want any of it." I froze, because I knew that closet. My mom used to store stuff there when she was decluttering. Old handbags, scarves, her favorite coat from when she worked in retail, that sort of thing. I hadn't opened it in years. Honestly, I forgot it even existed. So we go down, and I open the closet. Empty. I mean completely empty. Just a single roll of wrapping paper and one busted wire hanger. I stood there staring at it for a solid minute, like maybe it would reappear if I blinked enough times. My grandpa didn't say anything. He just looked confused. He was sure there were boxes in there last year. Said he even saw one with my mom's name on the label. So now I'm thinking, there's no way. I text my dad, just a one-liner. "What happened to mom's stuff in the guest room closet?" He doesn't reply. I wait an hour, nothing. Then I do the dumb thing, I go back to the house. I walk in unannounced, and it's just her there. She's in the living room watching HGTV like she's studying for a final. I ask her straight up, no emotion, just flat. "Where's my mom's stuff that was in the guest room closet?" She does that thing people do when they're guilty but want to act offended first, like she's already revving up for drama. She says, "I asked your dad what that stuff was, and he said it had been sitting there for years. It was collecting dust and taking up space. We're trying to declutter. You could have taken it if it meant that much." My jaw literally dropped. I said, "You asked what it was? Did you even open the boxes?" She just shrugged. I opened a couple. It was old scarves, papers, some random clothes, nothing important. If it mattered, someone would have said something. I swear I almost blacked out from rage. So I ask, "Where is it now?" She goes, "Some of it's in the garage. The rest we donated to Goodwill a few weeks ago." I just stared at her. She gave away my mom's things, without asking, without telling me. Just cleared out her last bits like they were junk mail or expired coupons. I went into the garage to check. There were 2 boxes, not even taped shut. One had a broken purse, a crumpled scarf, and an old notebook. The other had 1 shoe, just one, like it got separated from the rest of its pair. Everything else? Gone. I grabbed the boxes and left. Didn't say a word. Went back to my grandparents' house, slammed the boxes down, sat on the porch, and just sat there. My grandma came out, looked inside, and said nothing. Just put her hand on my shoulder and left a glass of iced tea next to me like that was the only thing anyone could do at that moment. Later that night, I finally told Marcus. I texted, "She gave my mom's stuff to fucking Goodwill." He replies in 0.2 seconds, "Bro, we're going." So we hit 3 Goodwills that week, checked donation bins, shelves, clothing racks, nothing. Gone. I'm not even gonna lie, I cried in the parking lot of the 3rd one, like full-on, ugly, trying not to make noise crying. That was the moment it hit me. It wasn't about the photos anymore, or the fireplace, or even that stupid Facebook post. She erased her, like my mom never existed. Like she was just this leftover thing you get rid of to make space for new furniture and yoga mats. I didn't go back to the house after that, but I did post something. Not to Facebook, not to be petty, just one post. On Instagram. Black background. White text, no hashtags, no tags. Just this. Love doesn't erase what came before. If it tries to, it's not love, it's ego. Within an hour, I got a DM from her, just 1 sentence. "So this is how it's going to be?" I left it on read, didn't respond. Not because I didn't have anything to say, but because I wanted her to sit in that silence. My dad didn't message, didn't call, nothing, but he would reach out. And when he did, he said the one thing I never thought I'd hear. So about 2 weeks go by, radio silence. Not a call, not a text from my dad. The house might as well not exist. I'm still staying with my grandparents, crashing on the pull-out couch, using Wi-Fi from the router that barely reaches the back room, and just waiting. Part of me honestly thought he was finally getting it. Like maybe he was realizing what a mess this whole thing had turned into and was just trying to figure out how to fix it. Spoiler, he wasn't. It was a Tuesday, random ass day. I was walking out of the Walmart by my grandma's house with a bag of hot Cheetos and some shampoo when my phone buzzed. It was a text from my dad. Just said, "Can you come by tonight just to talk, please?" No emojis, no guilt trip, no mention of her. I sat in the parking lot for a full 5 minutes before replying. I figured, all right. If he's finally ready to say something real, I'll hear it. So I go. And it's weird, right? Walking into your own house like it's someone else's. Like you don't know what version of people you're walking in on. He's alone when I get there. No Lexus in the driveway. No candles lit. No fucking essential oils clouding the air. Just him in the kitchen, sitting at the table like he's waiting for a job interview. He doesn't even say hi. He just gestures for me to sit. So I do, arms crossed, just watching him. He starts talking about how things have gotten out of hand, and emotions are high, and you and her are both strong personalities, like we're two employees he's managing. I let him ramble for a bit, waiting for the point, then he hits me with it. I think maybe it's best if you stay with your grandparents. Permanently. At least until you move out this summer. It was like the air got sucked out of the room. I said, "So that's it?" He nods, real quiet, like he's ashamed but not enough to stop. This house has changed. I have to keep the peace. Keep the peace. Like I was the war. I didn't yell, didn't flip the table or cry or do any of the dramatic shit I'd fantasized about over the last few weeks. I just said, "So you picked her." And he said, "Swear to God, I will never forget this. I picked my marriage." That hit different. That was the moment I realized it was never about blending families or starting over. It was about convenience, about moving forward in the most comfortable way for him. And I was a reminder of everything uncomfortable. The grief, the loss, the wife he couldn't fix, the kid who didn't forget. I stood up, looked around the house one last time. The living room was totally different. New pillows, fake plants, some live, laugh, love knockoff quote framed above the TV that literally made me want to vomit. The lake picture? Gone again. I walked to the hall closet, opened it without asking. Empty. I said, "Don't worry, I won't be back." He didn't stop me, didn't offer to hug me, didn't apologize, just sat there like a dude who'd already made peace with burning the bridge and was waiting for the smoke to clear. I left, walked outside, got in my car and drove. Didn't even look back in the mirror. A few days later, my grandma asked if I was okay. I said, "I'm not sure, but I will be." And that was the truth. I started making plans. Got a job at Subway down the block. Not glamorous, but it's money. Me and Marcus are looking at cheap apartments now. I'll be gone before summer's even halfway through. I'm out of that house, out of that drama, and out of their curated, candle-scented fairy tale. And those photos? They're safe. I've got them all. In a box under my bed. Every single one she tried to erase. Every smile, every hug, every piece of my mom that made this house a home before she turned it into a theme. People keep asking me if I think I was the asshole in all this. If maybe I went too far. But honestly, if standing up for the only person who ever made me feel like I belonged in that house makes me the asshole, then yeah, I'll wear that title like armor. Let her have her minimalist walls and yoga mats. I've got a memory that doesn't need redecorating. Thanks for watching. If you liked the story, hit subscribe. See you in the next one.